How? Oh. You? All right. I'll go.
The 49 melodies fetch again, with incessant labor, just as the open say. Friend.
All weapons are to be tossed into the chasm. Magistrate's orders.
How come you're allowed a weapon and I'm not?
And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. Under my leadership, you will finally enjoy the freedom you deserve. And yes, no more shall you walk on. Eggshells, yes. No more shall you walk on eggshells, fearing simply to live and breathe because the tyrant Sentius told you it was forbidden. Yes, from my first act as magistrate, I hereby announce the day of celebration. I hereby announce a day of celebration to mark the end of an era. Yes.
Oi! How did you get in there, you cheeky little Sturkus? If I cop an earful from Malleolus, I'll be coming for you.
Salve, friend. I'm Octavia. Welcome to life under the Golden Rule. It's a ghastly thing, is it not? How are you faring so far? All right, well, it was lovely to meet you.
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no. No. No, 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 no. Ulpius, what are you doing? Get back from there. If you lose your balance, you'll fall.
That's the idea.
What? Why? Why would you want that?
Why do you think I'm stuck for the rest of my life working for a man who treats me like an animal?
I know things are hard for you right now. They're hard for all of us. We're all in this together, Ulpius. Please just think this through. If you do this, it could be the sin that seals all of our fates. Is that what you want?
I'm sorry, but I just don't care anymore.
Please, Ulpius. Help him. If he goes through with it, it could be the end for us all. I don't know what to do. I've never had to deal with this sort of thing. Please, you need to talk to him. Thank you. And please, choose your words carefully.
Let me guess. You're going to let... I screwed up my life. That's what's wrong. I'll be stuck slaving away. I'm out. Wherever you are. Scintilla, my love. I'm sorry.
Ulpius, no! That was not your fault. Well, I suppose it means suicide isn't a... I'll have to let everyone know what happened. And I guess Malleolus will have to clean up the mess in his villa. It's of his own... And I'd best pray... I hope you're coping. Here, in this place, the magistrate has me earning my keep by cleaning and pruning the gardens. It's not quite how I used to live in a lovely villa on the banks of the Tiber. I was even betrothed to a handsome young man from a prominent family. But long hours of menial labor for the good of the community has its own charms too, I suppose. Oh, much the same way as many of the others. When the fires came to Rome, we were among the fortunate ones with enough coins for passage, but unfortunately, there were a lot of desperate people. And a scuffle broke out, and I was pushed overboard. I woke up by the river, near that... Oh, that's all right. Oh, yes, of course. A slip... Oh, much... We were a scuff... I woke... Oh... If you like. I'm afraid not. Although, I did once hear... I don't put a... If that... Oh, I'm sorry. Please keep that to yourself. I know you're not from a... There was a terrible fire in Rome last year. And our emperor decided to make us his... Oh, thank you. The many shall suffer for this. I'd like to think that if we were... But on the other hand, I was always taught the intent of man's heart is eat, and that's where I get stuck. You don't think that's a little naive? Innocent men and women. Oh, so soon?
Citizen, Name's Wolfie. See you.
Did you just scale the wall? Well, my name is Marcus Malio. I like. Unlike. Of course. Look. Of course. Why? You fool.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Salve, friend. All right.
You, Sisyphus, attack or pursue the stone.
Salve, friend. Well... Alright.
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no. No. No, 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 no. Wolf-Pierce, what are you doing? Get back from there. If you lose your balance, you'll fall.
That's the idea.
What? Why? Why would you want that?
Why do you think I'm stuck for the rest of my life working for a man who treats me like an animal?
I know things are hard for you right now. They're hard for all of us. We're all in this together, Ulpius. Please just think this through. If you do this, it could be the sin that seals all of our fates. Is that what you want? Please, Ulpius, help him. Thank...
You know about that? How is that possible? Well, you don't understand. It's too late for that. If I back... Oh, but we're still in debt bondage to that... Yulia and I are in debt bondage to Malleolus. So... Really? Wait. could do that for us. It seems today... Thank you, friend. Thank you. I just wish there was some way I could repay... I'll go and take care of things with Malleolus and tell Yulia the good news.
What you did was extraordinary. Ah.
Shalom. Scintilla and I were in love. And then... All right. One night a few months ago, when I was cleaning Malleolus's villa, I heard a young... I wasn't allowed out. So once everyone else was asleep, I climbed up the inside of the villa and onto the roof, just to see where that sound was coming from. And that's when I saw her. I just sat there on the roof, listening to her with my chin on my knees. And for the first time in a long time, And then she looked up and saw me, and from the moment she asked my name with this warmth and curiosity, and so for weeks on end, each night we'd hold hands and talk about all the things we'd do once we got out of here. Like having a... And then one morning I woke up and everyone was out searching for her. All I could do was keep my head down and try to hide how beside myself I was. All I know is she loved me. She'd never have taken her own life. I can't prove it, but I just know she's still alive somehow. Even now, it's as if I can hear her voice in my head, crying out to me. Somebody abducted her. I have no idea how or who would want to do something like that to such a sweet, lovely girl. But what else could have happened? My guess? Malleolus had something to do with it. I have no idea where he'd be keeping her, but there is what I've never seen the inside of it, and I haven't been able to steal. But I have a feeling that if you could get in there somehow, it... Really? I was sure he was hiding something in there. I feel like I've looked everywhere. At least everywhere I could get to. There are still two places I've never been. First, the palace. If Navia managed to get in, then I suppose the only other place she could be is somewhere in the Cistern network. I remember hearing that Dooley had been poking around in the upper Cistern before he was locked up. So you could ask him about it, I suppose. All right, friend. Shalom. You mean where am I from and all that? But when I was a child, I moved to Rome with my family, Romanized my name and spent most of my life in the Jewish district. That's where I was when the fires broke out. Everyone was running toward the river and I, listening to my inner contrarian, ran the other way. Every road leading out of Rome was in chaos, full of people with all. Several hours down the Appian Way, I saw another Jewish family being attacked by 3 opportunists. So I picked up a branch from the... I can only assume they got the better of me because the next thing I knew, I was waking up in a forest, by a river not far from here. It's strange though because I still had my purse on me. A lot of good it did me. And that family. I sometimes... I don't. But... well, neither of us have a couple of hours to stand around talking about theology, law, and collective punishment, so... I guess you're looking for... You remind me of an old story from my people about Hillel the Elder. He was approached by a Gentile and asked to explain the entire Torah while he stood on 1 foot. Obliging, he replied, "What is hateful to you, do not do to another. That is the whole Torah. The rest is commentary. Go and learn." Of course, what I want to know is, what kind of a god sees a young woman abducted and does nothing about it? Not my god. That's for sure. Maybe you don't. Sentius, I suppose. I'd have to be insane to vote for Malleolus after what he... I feel like I've looked everywhere. At least everywhere I could get to. There are still 2 places I've never been able to reach. First, the only... I remember... All right, friend.
Cerberus lifts his triple head and lets out his threefold graying.
Livia, would you stop muttering like Medea over a cauldron? You'll scare away my customers.
They follow their trades, imitating their previous lives, but they are ignorant.
This again. You're in a world of your own, aren't you?
You, Sisyphus, attack or pursue the stone that always returns.
How'd you do?
Name's Gruffy. No, Look, It's the rheumatism. I'll leave him alone from now on. It's not... I'm going to go and clean up the graffiti.
Ah, a new face. Salve. I hear... You went snooping. Have you... Really? Poor fellow. Really? Well, Malleolus is talking about loosening some of the restrictions in this place. My vote isn't for... Nice to talk to you.
Hello?
Ave.
What is it? All right.
Oh, another one fresh out of the baths, I take. Ugh. I'm... Ugh.
So you'll help me find... Oh, you should probably take a look through her room. It's the one just by the front door. Maybe you'll find something the rest of us missed. What? Really? I swear, I searched her room top to bottom and never... But it's odd. You should go and speak with her. Find out if she knows anything. She lives in the villa next door.
How come you're allowed a weapon and I'm not? Malleolus isn't... What?
Thank you. Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate.
I'm not...
Dimitri!
This is outrageous. Do I...
Thank you. Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. Yes. Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored. And now...
I should... This is outrageous.
Perhaps you're not... You know, some time ago, when he still cared for me. Now, addressing one's wife, I let... But... To withdraw. Listen, I may not be Penelope to his you. You must think...
Dimitri!
Thank you. Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected.
I should... This is outrageous.
What? Now, but I couldn't agree more. It seems our interests are aligned. I imagine no, but first, I want you to bring me someone. Oh, don't look at me like that. I know this must be... Let me tell you something about Malleolus. He talks a lot about freedom, but what he doesn't tell you is that he means, after all I've done for him, counseling him through his entire election campaign, and he had the audacity. He said it was for my own good, and that my drinking was unbecoming of a lady. Tonight, at his victory party, I'm going to get good and merry, and if he tries to... I am so... You mean, aside from the fact that I'm locked in it because they're... So... Excellent. Now, you'll need to pay a visit to that strumpet. I expect you'll have to flatter her a bit. I heard they used to be close. They both appreciate the Thank you.
Wow, isn't that a big... Ah, you're here. And there's... How... Beautiful. Oh, why? I take back what... Let's just... I do, but I'm afraid it's not for sale. It's the last jug in the entire city, so... Everything, except... Well, even if you could get into my locked cabinet, and you can't... Really? That's your move? Unfortunately for you... What's that supposed to be? I do... Really? That's your move? Unfortunately... Good idea. All right.
Sorry, was there... Really? You're going... Ah, so you need to sweep her off her feet, then? As much as it disgusts me, the thing you need to know about her is this. She's obsessed with money. An ostentatious display of wealth probably wouldn't hurt. One more thing, and I feel dirty saying this. She keeps a journal upstairs in her room. May Nemes... No, but I... All right.
Beautiful. Back again. I do. Good idea. All right. Back again. You know, as a matter, I'm happy, sir. Ha. All right.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Some? You... Put. All right. But how did you... I'll go...
Oh, you're here. And there's a light. Well, since you bring that up... Really? Maybe if you... Let's just... All right. Well, so you do. And that would make you rich as Croesus on the outside. But down here, that's exactly what a poor... Let's just... All right. Oh, well. So, that's exactly what a... Let's just... All right. Beautiful. Oh, you're here. And there's... Well... So... Real... Maybe if you... Let's just forget.
Sisyphus. Attack or pursue the stone that always returns.
All right.
Cerberus lifts his triple head and lets out his threefold braying.
Livia! Would you stop muttering like Medea over a cauldron? You scare away my customers.
How'd you do?
This is outrageous. You barge into my villa and offer... The question is... Ah, some time ago he wrote me a letter and signed... I'll happily... Thank you. Now, perhaps you... What? He's... Give me that immediately. Nobody else must know. What? No. It was a lie of a mission. I curse you.
Domitius doesn't usually let anyone in here without a hefty tribute. My name... I like... What? I suppose that... So... Fine. Ruling this cess... I'll have Domitius notify the priestess of my withdrawal. There. You got what you wanted. Now, please. Yes, sir.
Keep an eye out for Scintilla, would you?
Salve again, friend. How? Oh. Anyway. Oh, now, oh. So, no. He did? Oh, I'll let Equid... All right, friend.
A new face. It must be complete. It'll be between. Why do you? As I said, I'm planning to hold it before. Very. Citizens, it is time. Let us meet to elect our magistrate.
Time to go to the theater.
Body of voters gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus Sentius Imperiosus and late nominee Gallus Galerius Helva. Marcus Malleolus Gurges withdrew his candidacy earlier today. As agreed, we shall dispense with ballots and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Galerius. He saved the life of my dear friend Fabia.
Dacius.
Sentius.
Virgil.
The man who put a stop to the threats I've been receiving. Galerius.
Ulpius.
Galerius, the man who saved my life.
Rufius.
The man who treated my rheumatism. Galerius.
Citizens, you have made your decision. Your new magistrate is Gallus Galerius Helva.
What?
It has been decided. Magistrate Galerius, would you like to make a brief address?
I just want to say, this isn't something I ever wanted. Now that you've put your trust in me, I'm going to do everything I can not to let you down. I'll need some time to put together a list of the changes I want to make around here. But I promise you, there will be changes. My first order is that Dooley is to be freed. Horatius, release him from his cell immediately. Please. Wait, do I need to say please? I suppose not. That's it. You can all get on with your day. Nothing else to see here. Move along.
We're finally alone. See, nothing really. It won't be long before the Golden Rule. I dare say it won't affect me. Thank you.
Magistrate Galerius here has ordered your release.
You're going to let me out of here?
I'm sorry it took so long, my friend. And it wouldn't have happened at all if it wasn't for a newcomer. So be sure to offer your thanks when you can.
I will. I will. Thank you, Galerius. I'm so happy.
I'd love to stay and chat, but I've got a lot of work ahead of me. Why don't you go to the baths? Then tell Georgius I said you could have some new clothes. Then I want you to go home and rest. I'll speak with you soon, Dooley.
Oh, thank you. You can have, and maybe my friend Hannibal, but before that, he gave me a key to the cisterns. Please help me find it. Oh, thank you. Hope you find it. In the cisterns. Oh, look, maybe it is treasure. I can see it for myself. It's so pretty. And it's just lying out here. Maybe nobody will see it. Maybe no one will mind if I just take it.
Don't you dare.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
The god is responsible for this. Stop
Salve, friend. Well, you? Poor bro. All right, let me. What? Are you? You're serious, aren't you? I'll go.
The 49 melodies fetch again.
How come you're allowed a weapon and I'm not?
That's quite an impressive bow you have there. Just like Diana's. I'm just going to help us swallow.
not a good time, friend.
You? Who are you? Did he send you? Do you know you're here? I'm Scintilla. I found a way out through the Gate of Horn, but it's locked. So I told him about it, and instead of helping me escape, he locked me up. He wants to keep us all here forever, or until we're turned to gold. He's a monster. You have to let me go so we can kill him and take his key. Sentius, my adoptive father. Furies help me. I'll castrate and crucify him. I don't know. He said the gods are on his side because they don't want us to escape either. Behind me, there's an aqueduct tunnel bringing water from outside the city, so it should lead us outside. The only problem is it's barred by a heavy locked gate, and he has the only key. I'm going to take that key from around his neck. I'm done caring about the Golden Rule. There won't be enough time. Just you. There's no time. Wait. Oh, thank you. Now follow. He's here. You distract him. Stay right here and keep him talking while I look for something I can use.
What did you do with Scintilla? Where is she? So that is how it's going to be. It's a shame you'd have been looping through time forever until you gave up and killed. Come now. Surely you didn't think you were the... You see, my connection to the portal somehow... But I'm surprised you hadn't noticed. Here I was thinking you were a little bit sharper than Al was. Or perhaps you're just more willing. He was a moralistic fellow, and because of that fatal flaw, he relived this day. I watched him come through the portal each time, always a little older, a little more disheveled. And when he finally saw the futility of it all, as you're about to, it broke him. He drank a jug of wine, tied a noose around his neck. And the next time I awoke, you showed up. But you've caught up to where he was so quickly. I'd have preferred if you'd given me more time to enjoy the trappings of my success. How just the 8? In any case, there's no escape for you except the path that Al took, the path he wrote about on his tablet. What was it? Ah, yes. Better to end it all now. So, you discovered my secret. So what? What are you going to do about it? Of course. There's no way you could have... Man will, as I told you the first time, by reliving the same day over and over again forever. And I will continue living long after your dust. Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I have grown attached to all this, and as long as this day keeps repeating, I have found a way to prolong my life indefinitely, to cheat death. I have become, in effect, as immortal as the gods. Can you honestly say you would not wish the same for yourself? Do you really think you could... Who? Scintilla? Where is she?
I'm right here, Father.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Come on, we have to go. Hey, what's happening to you? That light, it's so bright.
Hi there. Give me a bit of a... Well, here I am. Really? I was just reading an old tablet I found. It described an event about 2,000 years ago. Freed an imprisoned woman named Scintilla, who then murdered her captor, breaking some kind of ancient law. It said the attack caused golden statues to come alive. Apparently, the only person to survive was Scintilla, while the stranger disappeared in a flash of light. What? I'm sorry. God, why does this writing? I've spent a life. This is... So you're saying... I guess you saved my life then. Maybe we can escape through the same aqueduct Scintilla used. I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple. You go on ahead. You go on ahead.
You're back! But... you're... Ah, what a relief. Why don't you tell me what you discovered?
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions. You can just call me Charon, if you like. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have that most people find comfort in familiarity. That you died, of course. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the land of the living to the land of the dead. Usually, when people do not remember how they died, most souls would rather not remember. Ask yourself honestly. As you wish, you were exploring an old tomb when you discovered a cache of forgotten relics, including, unfortunately, as you emerged into daylight, a nearby hiker saw the scuffle break out and leapt to your aid, trying to help you recover. You both fought bravely. There was nothing you or your ally could have done. He died instantly at the scene. That man's name was Al Worth. You were each in possession of a sacred coin, called Charon's Opal by some, and so it was my duty to bring you here. Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans burying their dead with a coin in their mouths. Well, those stories. A long time ago, my master created 1,000 silver coins, and had my orders were simple. Whenever a person died, that is a question you would have to ask him. If that, I am just his servant. Only now, I find myself bereft of purpose. You see, there is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never—
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. And there was a tablet describing— supposedly the city was destroyed. My new friend, I know how—
Maybe not that crazy.
How could you—
She left a tablet of her own. I think she meant for you to read it. Here.
I don't know what became of you, or if you'll ever read this, but I want you to know that I will never forget you, or what you did for me. It pains me that so many dear friends were not so fortunate. Ulpius, Sentia, Lucretia, Horatius, Galerius, poor Dooley, and the others. But please understand, their blood is on—
Sounds like you meant a lot to her. You two look exhausted.
Sounds good to me.
And you?
behind the... I'm... There would... What? No. It's no use. You'll make it.
We're free! Thank you. It seems fortune smiles on us after all. I'd better go and pay a visit to Julia immediately.
Isn't the great temple majestic?
Was all
Citizen?
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names. Nergal to the Cimmerians, but the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal. And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never, but there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow... My story is many thousands of years long. It is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given, but your ancestors revered me because to them, my knowledge, but despite all that, my kin and I all adopted this form long ago, so that we might better understand and communicate with it. In time, we grew fond of the sensory delights it affords. No. Long ago, I swore to Persephone that I would remain in this form for as long as we remained among your people. This is my... Like me, She has been known by many names. Ereshkigal to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians, Persephone to the Greeks, and Proserpina to the Romans. Or perhaps you might know her as the goddess of springtime. Your gaze lingers too long. That is my servant. You would have met by the river, though she wears many faces, and Kumutubal to the Sumerians, Kirti to the Egyptians, Charon to the Greeks, and Charon to the Romans. Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal world and this one. For that, she earned herself the infamous Ithironias. You will talk more later. For now, as you wish. It has come to be known simply as the Underworld. That is a long story, one that began over 3,000. You see, long ago my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium to search for other forms of life among the stars. We discovered your planet and witnessed your kind evolving from primates into something lawless and barbaric. You all but destroyed yourselves, your 2 short lives being extinguished by violence and ignorance and disease. Yet Proserpina saw raw potential in you, and persuaded the rest of us it would be squandered without our intervention and stewardship. So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. We offered guidance in agriculture, toolcraft, and law, and you called us gods. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as you spread from that cradle of civilization, we saw something. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon you returned to your old... My kin had seen enough, and gave up on our kind, condemning you. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, a utopia unspoilt by conflict. But my Proserpina could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing she made an extraordinary sacrifice. She gave up, and so she began her inescapable trajectory toward death. And then I pleaded with Proserpina's father, who the Romans called Jupiter, to bring her with us to Elysium. It was, and is my hope, that once there, we might one day learn to undo what she has done to herself. But he refused. I did everything I could to persuade him, but he would not. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Proserpina and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium. My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you without interfering, and to sit in silent judgment. And so my reward has been to languish here, enduring a 3,000-year winter, waiting for the day your kind proves itself worthy of her faith in you, so that I might take her with me to Elysium and unthaw my goddess of springtime. And here I am, after all this time, still waiting. There were also gods who, like me, have been known by many names. But our leader, Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, Venus, Apollo, Diana, Vulcan, Vesta, Ceres, and of course, as the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build a city in their own I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to baths, to cleanse them of the sins of their former lives, and to prevent escape. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as, of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization, the Egyptians promptly built over what had been built before, and made all. After another 1,000 years, the Greeks began to arrive, and then the Romans, and they all did the same thing. To ensure the wager was fair, it was important that my subjects were chosen at random. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by myself. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coins, spreading to Egypt like seeds on the wind. Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's Obol, or as coins for the pharaoh. Some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken here, though they had no way of knowing which coins. In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted for. Only 2 remain. And so after this wave destroys itself, your kind would have squandered the last of its potential to ascend beyond this rock, and Persephone along with it. It is a regrettable story. One of the first men who came to this place was a king. To be rid of him, I returned him to his people, on the condition that my servant erased his memories of this place. But the erasure did not take completely. His tales were committed to writing, which came to be known as the Epic of Gilgamesh, and his words were twisted. Later, the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's stories of the underworld. Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less resemblance to this place. Then, when the Greeks began to arrive, a warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus, and they each told embellished tales of this place, how to get. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, your kind has always told each other stories about this place, though each story. Of course, that is merely the name your people have given to it. That is a story dating back to the very first wave. After the Sumerians finished building their city, the self-declared ruler threw a banquet to celebrate. Now this man was unmarried, and many women were vying to become his wife, a prestigious position of power and influence in a new world. Of all the women, 2 were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful. Both arrived at the banquet wearing eye-catching dresses, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman, recognizing that she would require, draped herself in jewelry. Seeing this ostentatious display, the second woman grew in. She prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold. And when her prayer went unanswered, while the others indulged at the banquet, the second woman summoned the first. She checked that nobody was watching, and pushed her rival from the top of the ziggurat, where she broke her neck on the rocks below. But I was watching, and I decided to answer her prayer. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana, and I shot that woman in the heart, covering her from head to toe in a layer of molten gold. And I left her to stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls those who sin in my domain. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted by her sin, and the wager could. So I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. I gilded them all, to make way for a new wave, and to this day, each of them, and all who came after, suspended in time with only their sight and hearing preserved, so they may bear witness to and lament the folly of your kind for eternity, as silent golden sentinels. I give your kind a second chance at life, as well as ample warmth. And when you disobey, and you always disobey, you force my hand, bringing terrible suffering. And so you ask, if I am the one destroying you destroy yourself. When my kin departed, they left behind many relics which I inherited. Consolation Pride. The golden bow originally belonged to one of my kin, who the Romans called Diana. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them, and equipped them each with and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. They became known simply as Fury. I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic can ever cover all. This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added, treat your inferior as you would wish yours. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not? Enough. You. I am able to commune with all the statues in the city. If she was still conscious, I suppose she could, but she's... Then what an odd question. Do you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations, or are you going to give me an example? Abduction? You mean the Majesty? He did so because she sought to escape. A sin I take particularly seriously. Better that he stops her from escaping, albeit brutishly, than I have to wipe out this entire city to punish her. Wouldn't you agree? Now tell me, what I have seen no such thing, but taking one's own life is a self-directed act. It is not one that is done. Therefore, it cannot be said that one who commits suicide has done anything. Applying this rule always requires us to interpret the meaning of the words. Supposing you're right, and my law is being broken, and I should turn you all... Now tell me, what other... The merchant. How is that inconsistent with the rule? I disagree. Having watched this merchant, that is precisely what he would expect from... Applying this rule always requires speculation to see. Not if we're wiser. Supposing you're... Now tell me. I disagree. Applying... Not if we're... Now tell... You speak of the money and you would never... Ignoring your irritating sense of moral superiority. This is interesting. I see. I fail to see how... Supposing you're right... Now tell... The midwife and the palace, yes. How is that inconsistent with... The rule is do unto others, meaning other people. Those statues are something else. They are for... Now tell me. Do you honestly think you... I should strike you down for that? Now, did... Very good. Only, it has long been within my power to see into the hearts of mortal. When I peer into you, I see only a blank slate. Charon, where did you find this one?
If that is true, then I sense...
How did you come to be in this time?
We cannot...
Impossible. Not yet. Enough. Why have you come? If you anger me or waste my time with... So, tell me, why should... How so? And be specific. You have made a... True. I have... He is a volatile and confused fellow. I admit, His cruelty does... But if I were to accept that, are you telling me these humans could cope? How so? And how is that? So you say, and yet you're... You have spoken eloquently, and yet, if what you say is true, but that would mean Jupiter, Proserpina's father, who knew more about you than anyone, perhaps. But if that was so, surely I would have sensed his... Your words, as difficult as this is to admit, I've been so fixated on taking my beloved. In time, I began to despise your kind for making... But my rage was not born of malice. Who knew this empathy of yours? This has gone on too long. But know this. If I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever ascend. Because doing so would violate the rules of my sacred agreement with Jupiter. And you would... The best I can do is return you to... I will have Charon make arrangements. Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never... What will be now? Farewell.
Oh. Hi. Well, you're... Oh, did that... I'm fortunate. Apparently, they believe then. An oracle saved prevent for and no, because the net... What became of him? And did this... Anyway. I'm gonna pause here. You...
You're back! Ah, why don't...
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions. You... Oh... I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now!
Hey, you made it. I read your book. After everything you've been through, so I'm sorry. Why don't you have...
Oh, hello.
There she is. You're finally here. It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Cap even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation. I wanted to say thanks. I know. I can't believe my luck either. We're planning to get married next. Oh, I used Karen's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on. It's hard work. Of course.
You're here. It's... So, you're the hero. I'm just teasing. Actually, Galerius and I are engaged and expecting. We've just bought... It feels like the work we're just so... Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she... See you at...
Hello. I'm the... Galerius said you're very nice. I live at Galerius and... Treasure? Oh. Yeah. Bye-bye.
You're here. I want... Oh, I'm living in a house share in London with my wonderful girlfriend. Eventually, I want to travel the world, and did you know there are entire continents roamed, and you can travel almost anywhere? Oh, sorry. I have no... Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire. As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine after the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me. I can't... Thank you. Ugh. Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince. And even in your time, apparently he'd proposed before they'd even... Nigeria? Well, huh. You too. I hope.
You are here. Lucy is fine. I'm making an if the world speaking. I'm studying to get into medical school when it... You too.
Hey.
Hi there, I'm Horatius. I understand we have you. I'm living up north and studying in the military. The world's still. The one... Ah, you remembered that. In the words of Epictetus, remind your... Thanks. Great. He's not my... He had more... He got himself supposed appealed, but his luck finally... You know... See you at drink...
I take it you're the Oracle. Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, Proserpina emerged from the Great Temple. She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. But he's been dealt with. anything I want. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me, because he's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld. Eternal torment. Meh, I try. You too.
Hello.
Greetings. You must be the legendary oracle. It is a... I am perhaps one. I hope... You too, my...
You're the one. I wanted to say thank. I'm just. Well, mostly that means. Thank you. You.
I take it you're the oracle everybody's talking about. We have. I never thought I'd leave that cave, and it seems I have your catabasis. I'm working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge. Not that I need them. My sincere...
Some soiree, innit? Ah, hello at last. Listen, I wanted whatever you did in that I took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the stock market. That's where the real money... In fact, I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling. Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your... Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. Of course, darling.
Good evening.
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I've heard so... I'm thankful that you're here, but I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber. And after you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired. I just want to spend the rest of my life... And you.
Greetings. Thank you for your kind... I'm recovering. All men have called me. And you.
It is an honor to finally meet you. Oh, of course, I too. For a time, I returned to Alexandria. Instead, I have decided I spent the first 25 years of my life. Indeed. Thank you.
We meet again.
Hi.
Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name. And I wanted to say thanks, and no hard feelings, for leaving me in that system. I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. It's even more wonderful than I dreamed it would be. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. If you can try some of our very own wine. Thanks.
It's nice to finally put... I understand. The way you just... I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria every day, so we're living each day, sitting together, and I... Thank you. You too.
Nice to meet you. I go by Rufus. Oh, sorry. I live with Virgil. Huh. Good to know. You too.
It's so nice to finally meet. I wanted to... And... I'm studying to be an architect again, and living with... Of course, you natives... You too. As Rufus, if you're ever in the Nether...
There you are. I hope you enjoyed. Now, there's one more
Sorry if I frightened you. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Proserpina, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. And now, I wanted to meet you in person. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention. Indeed. Suffice it to say that while Pluto was I was able to control their tongues and whisper to you, and I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only ever... I did. I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain after witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of... So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rob. I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard from him, and I rather hope it stays that way. Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke, she was what? She wouldn't say what it was. And you. Although it... Oh, and one last thing. Do you remember all those golden statues scattered throughout the city? Good, because they remember you. Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.